The topic of this month's discussion is, as I mentioned, the top 3 cars that we've all owned in the past. Now, should be quite a nice one to do this. Who wants to kick off with their top 3 cars?
I think you should.
Me?
Yeah.
Do you want me to run through all of them, or should we? Yeah, fair do.
Yeah, just do
One to three.
Yeah. So, this has been, well, the first 2 I know, the first and second place cars. I've had roughly about 16 or 17 cars over the time that I've been driving. Now, the third position, quite a difficult one for me this. I really mulled over this. I'll mention one car, this isn't it, but one car I did have, going back a few years now, was a Renault Clio 182. It was a great car, absolutely loved it. The driving experience was just electric. It was fantastic. I don't know if you 2 guys have come in contact with one of them.
I've never owned
recently.
a Clio or a Renault actually.
Well, this was my first and so far only Renault, and it's a 2005 model. Now, for you Renault enthusiasts out there, you'll know what I mean when I say this, but this car was what they call a full fat 182. There was a Cup suspension pack, which basically included 10mm wider track at the front, so to aid handling around corners. You had the wheels painted grey instead of silver. You had slightly stiffer dampers and spring, that kind of thing, suspension setup. That was one of the option packs, and my car did have that. It also had, and this is what makes it unusual, the other Cup pack option as well, which is what makes it a full fat car, because most 182s I had none of them, or one of them. Not many had both. And this was a Cup spoiler pack, they called it, and basically what that included was the rear spoiler was off the Clio V6.
Yeah.
So it was a bit larger. It also has a plastic front splitter at the bottom as well. And that's what made it unusual. It had both packs, so it really did look the part. Yes, brilliant car, absolutely loved it, really did. The downside was, although it was actually quite reliable, contrary to what people think of Renault, the only time I had problems with it was after pretty much as I was about to sell it, the electrics decided to give me a bit of trouble, but generally speaking, over the 3 years it was fantastically reliable. The downside of that car was I was quite young at the time, so insurance was very high and fuel was pretty excessive. It seemed to drink fuel. I did use it for work, so I did a fair mileage in it, so it's not necessarily always the car's fault.
Is that the one you took up to Scotland? 2010? When we went up to Scotland that time?
I don't think I went in the Clio.
I'm going to say you'd have been bankrupt if you did.
Yes, I did have it when we went to Scotland in 2010, but no, so it wasn't necessarily the car's fault, but it did use a lot of fuel, the insurance was high, and that's the reason that the car at number 3 only just pipped it to 3rd place. The Rover 25. Now, a lot of you are probably going to laugh at this, but I absolutely love that car. We featured it on Overdrive quite a bit, as you've seen. The regular viewers will know. I had the car for 9 months until the engine decided it didn't want to be an engine anymore, but during that 9 months, it really endeared itself to me. I used it for work, used it for all sorts. It was just such a lovely, comfortable car to drive. You did get a lot of head turning with it as well, so obviously Rovers like that, especially ones in condition like that, are getting a bit rare these days, and you did turn a few heads. Absolutely love the car, great handling as well. Really, for saying it was a Rover version, not the MG version, it really did handle excellent. Can't fault it, absolutely love the car. There's something about it that really endeared itself to me. I'm a bit Rover biased anyway. But yeah, it was a really nice car, great looking, handled well, and pretty nippy as well. So that was it, the Rover 25, absolutely loved it. I'm determined to get another one, as I've mentioned before, an Overdrive. Second position car, this is going to surprise a lot of you. And you probably think I'm barking mad. Because it's not fast, it's not expensive, and it's not fancy in any way. But a bit better than that.
Okay. Ladder?
Keep going.
I think you better just put us out of his misery.
Sorry viewers. Ignore Malcolm. I had 3 of these, and it is a Mark 1 Ford KA. I had a 53 plate, which is a 2003. I had a 2006 car, and I had a 58 plate, which was very late 2008. Pretty much the last registration for them before Ford replaced it with the Mark II.
The one I like.
They were all, actually, funny enough, I never met these guys, they were all sort of Bogo base spec cars. None of them had a lot of features you could get on even a Mark 1 kit, like aircon, leather, electric windows, that type of stuff. They were all, every one of them was a Bogo basic version. But do you know what? I think that kind of, in some ways, made it a better car because there was less to go wrong.
True, yeah.
Less weight as well.
Less weight. All of them were faultlessly reliable. I mean, I think the only one that broke down, it was once, was the 53 plate one, and I wasn't driving it, it was my other half that was driving it at the time. And that had some kind of, I think it was a little head gasket issue, that type of thing, but we had that sorted out in no time. But generally speaking, they've been almost faultlessly reliable over the time that I've had them. I did a huge amount of miles in them. And funnily enough, with the KAs, they were, although they were designed as a city car, they were absolutely great on the motorway. And I think that was mentioned in the press when they were first came out. The advantages that they had was that they share a similarity actually perhaps with the 205.
Right.
Okay.
In the sense that the 205 and the KA both had what you call a wheel in each corner design.
Yeah.
So the wheels were spread as far out as possible.
Yeah.
It aids handling for stability. Although the KA is a small car, the wheels spread out so it handled better. It gave it stability. It also gave it quite a nice ride as well for a small car. It made it much more comfortable to drive, hence why it was so good on the motorway. Absolutely great cars, I absolutely loved them. Which brings us on to number one position for me. Now, again, you might think I'm a bit mad with this one, because it's a pretty normal car, but my favourite car I've ever had was my 14 plate Vauxhall Corsa 1.4 SRI.
I can understand it with the SRI.
The SRI, as you know, featured what they called the VXR styling kit, although it was different to the actual VXR. But it had a slight body kit from the factory, it had 17-inch wheels. The one that I had came out of the factory standard with tinted glass on the back as well, which they dropped for the facelifted SRI, and they also dropped the body kit as well. You had to buy the SRI and BX line to get the body kit.
Okay.
Mine also featured, and I know a lot of viewers will know, I found these, the optional panoramic roof, which opened up and slid back. Very expensive option, that was about a £600 option when it was new, and it came with a height adjustable passenger seat as well. You had the driver's seat adjustable. If you had the sunroof, you had adjustable passenger seat, because obviously you needed to be able to lower it because of the headroom. And some matte reading lights and a couple of other things as well. So really enjoyed that car. It wasn't the fastest one I ever had. I think it was about 100 horsepower.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the most practical thing in the world. It wasn't perfect. The couple of things I didn't like about it was that the getting in the back was a bit awkward. And it wasn't just because it was a 3-door, just because the seat mechanism was really a bit temperamental. That wasn't perfect. I didn't particularly like that. But you know, no car's perfect.
No, exactly.
Even my favourite car I ever had has stuff I was like, But generally speaking, I absolutely loved that car. It was great on a summer's day. It did have air conditioning, but it was great on a summer's day, coming home from work, bob the roof open. It looked the part, and this is what makes the Corsa number one for me. I absolutely love that car. It just has such a character. Me and the Ross, she absolutely loved driving it as well. We had some great times in that car. That was my top 3. We're almost top 4, but yeah.
Top 4, yeah.
So I'm going to stop rambling on. I'm going to let one of these chaps take over, or let Martin take.
Shall I go to, let's say, maybe another end of the scale, with my top 3? When I was asked this question, I thought, I've had 21 cars. How do I pick 3? But when you start thinking about it and looking through your cars and experiences you've had with them, you do start to single ones out, and here's my top 3. And number 3 is the one, oddly enough, out of all the 3, if it hadn't have been for the issue we had, I still would have probably had today. And it's an MG ZR, a 1.4 MG ZR in the burgundy colour, which I am now struggling to place the actual name of the colour.
Yeah.
It wasn't Nightfire Red, but I will not bring to mind the actual name of the colour.
I think it might have been Copper Leaf.
Could have been.
I'm not sure.
If any of you guys know, let Martin know.
They had a name for it. I had it from new, I had it from brand new. I remember the collection day I got it because the chap next to me was getting one in the gunmetal colour, and he's got a 5-door and mine was a 3-door, and now to this day I just cannot remember the name of the colour. It was a 1.4, but for the car and what I needed at the time, 1.4 was ample because it was just like a little pocket rocket.
The thing was as well, the 1.4 engine was really, really economical.
Yeah.
It was, and it was a nice Revy engine as well.
Yeah.
I could have some fun with that car. It handled beautifully. It were on 17-inch alloys with all the extra spokes in them. Some might say there was a bit of a cleaning headache, but I enjoy cleaning my cars anyway, so it wasn't for me. I absolutely love that car, and I was gutted when one day I washed the car and I found traces of water dripping onto the dashboard. And I wondered how. I thought something happened with the jet wash, so dried it off, didn't pay much attention. It started happening again, even when it was raining, there were some issues, and I discovered after a bit of trial and error that it was coming from the sunroof. And it wasn't until I actually stepped out of the car and looked, and the sunroof wasn't actually seated flat. If you stood at the front of the car and looked, the sunroof was slightly sat down more than it was on the other side. And I was just on the verge of getting to the dealership, getting it sorted because it was all under warranty, and the crisis with the Rover MG issue started, and they basically would have done it, but I would have had to pay up front for it. They wasn't prepared to do it under warranty because they didn't know where anyone or anything stood at the time. So I quickly, and I believe now rather stupidly, got rid of the car. So that we moved on then, slowly, eventually, to my second car, which we upgraded into power a lot. I turned to a used one, and I saw it at the Ford garage, just passing one day, and I saw this electric orange Focus ST, and it had no number plates on it. I thought someone had already got it, but me being me, went in for the nosy, started wandering around car, and this chap came out, he says, "Can I help you?" And I says, "Well, I'm quite taken with this car, but it looks like it's already sold, you've no plates or anything." And he says, "Oh no," he says, "this came from Manchester," he says, "it's not sold." He says, "The reason why it's no plates on, the chap that traded it in had personalised number plates on." He says, "He's still got his plates." He says, "We just sort the reg everything out and get it all done." He says, "But no, it's still for sale. Do you want to take it for a test drive?"
Fatal question.
Yes I did, and yes I have, and yes I got it. It was actually a 55 plate when they'd sorted everything out. It was 2005.
So it's quite an early ST then.
It was the first ST of that.
Yeah.
After the original, what they used to call an ST170. They gave them numbers then, and then they changed it, and it became just the ST. 2.5 litre engine, Volvo engine, 5-cylinder.
I had that engine in my Mondeo.
It's the sort of car, even if you started it from cold, you had that little burble all the time, and that's why I love it. It made the car did that, and it could shift. It was limited to 150. They said 155. I think about 154 around that range. It was a brilliant car, as Clarkson called it on a certain programme. He called it the Asbo, and the colour was perfect for the nature of the car, electric orange. I discovered you couldn't even get a touch-up pen or anything for it. I went to Alphas and got paint made up for it, and they did a damn good colour match. I had that for a good while, and that car went for other cars, and I had some other cars between, and it was my top car now. And it brought it to this, and there's a little tale behind this how I ended up with it. My dad's old boss, who's both my dad sadly passed away now, his boss has, but he lives in Willesden, or did live in Willesden. And I used to take my dad there every Sunday, fairly regular, to go see him. Nice drive right through Bradford, all right through Willesden. We passed this garage, Willesden Autos. I'm sorry if I'm advertising, but I have to say the name. And we just shot straight past, and I had to give way for this bus coming along. And I was giving way, as you do, I started looking around, and I clocked this white RS, a Focus RS, a white, and high up on top of the corner bar in front of the showroom. And apparently must have brought it out on the daytime just to show it off, and then on the night put it up.
Yeah.
I saw it, did say no to my dad, went to see his old boss, stayed an hour or so. On the way back I said to my dad, I said, "I saw a smart car earlier when I was coming on here." And he says, "What, won't you passed?" And I says, "No, this garage, I'll just show you." So we stopped and pulled in, and I went and had a look. 1 week to that day later, I was collecting.
I think the thing
I'm driving it. Don't pass a garage. Don't. I know. And I went in, and first thing I said to the chap, I actually had another ST of the time. It was the newer shape one, and it was an ST3 and a Spirit Blue, it was called. And I had no intentions of changing the car.
No.
And I had a look round it and all that, and the usual thing, he came out to me and all that stuff, telling me about it. And I just said to myself, oh no, I said, there's no you can do for me with this. I won't be able to afford all this bloody line. Oh, leave it with me. Went through a lot of figures and took it for a test drive. And like I said, a week later, I was sorting everything out with insurance. Now I'm going collecting the car, and I were running the car that I was going to on vapours. And the light was on when I left Huddersfield. Now I'm going all the way over to Willesden with vapours in the other car. And I collected this Focus RS, and what a car! It was just the presence of that car on the road.
Yeah.
People that are not really into cars would look at it as if to say, I've never seen one of them before, what's that? Because you didn't see many on the road. Until that day I collected it.
And then they were everywhere.
And the thing is, I drove from Willesden.
Yeah.
I had to stop at Bayleaf Bridge at a petrol station to put some more fuel in.
Of course you did.
He told me to put a full tank in, but when I looked there was only half a tank, so I went and topped it up. And from getting from Willesden to Bayleaf Bridge, I saw no less than 5 RSs. I hadn't even got back to the street. I'd only got down the road from the garage and a blue one pulled out of a junction, straight in front of me and off. Same again, I saw the one in the ultimate green going the other way and so on, and then I saw another white one that followed me most of my journey home. But the thing that made this car a little bit different is the chap who'd had it before had done some stuff to the car, not engine-wise or anything, he hadn't tampered with it that way. But he'd done the sort of touches which I say suited the RS and it should have had coming from factory. He acquired some RS 500 alloys, which was the black ones, and he put them on. He'd done the bonnet vents in black, because as you know there was always a standard colour of the car, and they didn't really show up.
No.
And I thought black bonnet vents on the ultimate green and the white one especially suited the car. He did a lot of little cosmetic touches and things like that, and it just made the car a much more presence on the road. It looked the bee's knees, but it was the engine. I mean, it shared the same 2.5 litre engine as the standard ST, the Volvo engine, but it had a new turbo fitted. It had been tweaked. You got 301 brake horsepower out of it, but the fun was, it was all sent to the front wheels. And I know a lot say, well, it's a bit tricky giving it all that power to front wheels, especially when you've got to do your handling and all that, but I think it gave it the car the character it had.
Well, it did have a new diff.
It did. Or they didn't just leave it at that, they did do the other tweaks, but it's still...
It would never have coped if it was
it honestly still...
The engine made that car.
It gave you the feeling as what Ford tried to achieve with that car is they wanted to lift the rally version off the rally stage and plonk it on the road, and they got it as near as damn it. Not just in the looks, but how it handled and the noise and everything with it. And it is the car which I still wish I had. The thing is with that car, it's just how it made you feel. But it sadly had to go. And we got something which we then went on to Motability, and we got something better than for my dad. But if thinking back, I'd have kept the car. I wish I had done. But I'm afraid I'd need a big drive, because I also would have kept the MG ZR. So them two would have been on the drive.
I would have kept a lot of cars that I had as well.
But that's my top 3.
Top 3.
But if someone said to me, out of the top 3, which one only, you could only have one, would you have? It'd take me a long time to decide, because as much as the RS was a bit of a beast of a car, I love the MG ZR. Because the MG ZR gives you massive spoilers, all the tricks and whistles and all that fancy paint colours, you can get the yellow one and all sorts, and give you all that for in a cheaper package. And I think it was just as good.
So that brings us on Martin's top 3.
So that was my top 3.
Malcolm's top 3.
Well, in at number 3 would be the MGTF.
So let me get this right. We've all chosen MG Rebel products as our third choice car.
Yes. Mine would be the TF.
Right.
For the simple reason, it's great, it's fun, but it's not very practical. It's got a pretty big boot, so you could get a
for
weekend
a sports
stuff.
car,
It's not bad. But there's nothing better than basically putting the roof down, and driving.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's something I must do on a bucket list of mine. I must have a convertible.
I've never had it.
Well, one of the things I wanted to do before I died was I wanted to go into Whitby in a two-seater sports car. And on my 40th birthday, that's what we did in the TF.
It's a strange thing to
Yes.
Otherwise, it's one of the things I want to do. But yeah, the TF's there. It's great fun. It does make you feel fantastic when you're in it. It just goes as well. You've got a 1.8 litre engine, 135 brake horsepower, as in the standard. What was the standard before they got a 1.6 out, and it just flies because it's as light as a feather.
It's plenty enough for that car, isn't it? Yeah.
I remember going to Edinburgh in it in the summer of 2012, and it was that point. You remember that really, really wet summer we had here?
Yeah.
We drove up. We left Huddersfield, drove up to Edinburgh. Had this fantastic week there. It was all sunny and glorious. We could hear about all the weather down here, and then we set off on the Friday, and it was absolutely drenched.
Biblical rain.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember.
That's the point when you realise that at times the handling can be fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. We should still have that car. I did have a little accident in it.
How little, Malcolm?
Most of the front had to be straightened.
Is that why you still wish you had the car? Because you
I actually got it all straightened out. I did it all paid for it all myself.
You did,
So let's get it straightened out. It was all in line. It was perfect. And I got the bits, but I just ran out of money to actually finish restoring the car. And it was stood there for 2 years. It's like I can't keep it there anymore. So it went. Somebody else has got it. It's on sale at the moment. He's doing a full restoration job on it, and good luck with that. I really do hope he comes through.
Yeah, I do.
Because it'd be nice to see it back on.
I guess it reminds me, because we went for a day out in that car with some of the family members to Buxton, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yorkshire, was it? Yeah. There's a theme here, Malcolm, because I seem to remember that day it didn't stop raining once.
No, then number 2 is the Rover SD1.
we knew it would be there somewhere, didn't we?
I thought it was going to be first.
Yeah. I mean, the SD1, the Rover 75 is nice, big and comfortable. Compared to the SD1, it's like driving a Mark 1 Ford Fiesta. The SD1 really was that comfortable. It was literally like being in a 70 mile an hour armchair. And you've got these huge seats that you sink into. You've got power steering that is literally, you can turn it lock to lock with your little finger. And you're talking over a ton of car.
I've been a passenger in one of them once, and it was so luxurious. You could just sort of flop in the seats. And You had to believe what you were in, actually.
But I would get the Series 2 rather than the Series 1. The Series 2 coming out around about the wire edge time. Because the Series 1 was the one with the short dash going across, and the Series 2 had the longer dash going across. Generally, the paintwork was better. They had more depth to the paint as well. So you had better paint options. The yellow in the Mark 1 was awful.
I remember that. I was thinking that. When I think of a Mark 1 SD1, that's the colour I think of.
It just comes out that yellow colour, doesn't it?
Having said that, the one car I've never driven in the SD1 series, and I really do want to drive one, is a V8. I've never driven the diesel. I don't care about the diesel. But I had the 2 litre 0 series, which ironically used to accelerate better than the 2.3 and the 2.6.
Right.
Yeah.
But the 2.3 and 2.6 were detuned, so they made the V8 look better.
You can't take shine off the V8, can you?
Yeah. But when you actually took out Rover's detuning on the 2.3, the straight 6 was the 2.3 and 2.6, they would fly.
A couple of facts I'd like to know about the SD1, Malcolm. Was the diesel version Rover's first ever diesel car? Because it must have been pretty close.
No, it wasn't actually Rover's first ever diesel car, but I think it was Rover's first released diesel car.
Right, so it's the first one that you could buy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because it was 2.4, wasn't it, something like that?
Yeah, it was a 2400.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about it was as well, each cylinder had its own cylinder head gasket.
Right.
So if one went, you had to know which one it was to take the right pot off to Weird.
The other thing on the snow was, I've heard, and I'm going to sound really thick here because I'm not mechanically minded, as you'll find out. Rover SD1 V8s, I've heard of one called a twin plenum.
Yes, the twin plate.
Is there two different versions of a V8?
Yes, there was the VTES, which had a single plenum chamber for the fuel to go in.
Yeah.
And then there was what is effectively the ultimate car, which is the twin plenum VTES. And it had a different chin spoiler underneath.
Yeah.
It had 2 plenum chambers. The air intake was redesigned by Lotus.
Right.
And there are a few other tweaks as well. Now, if you actually look for the twin plenum VTES on Google, you will find I think it was the Autocar. Autocar actually owned one for a while. It's a red one.
Yeah.
And they do a write-up of it. And even then, at that point, the SD1 had been out of production for such a long time, but it still stood up against many of the cars.
Just shows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And if you really, really want something special, the twin plenum VTES is the one to go for.
There you go. That's answered that question.
You'd have another one now, would you?
I would have another one tomorrow.
I've never been in an SD1. It's something I'd love to do. So
Put it on your bucket list.
it's trying to get hold of one. It's the
I
thing.
think you wanted to do mine.
Now,
Yeah.
But any idea what my number one would be then?
Well, should I
This
guess,
one
Mark?
number
This,
Just have a guess.
this really throws me now because, as Craig says, we thought the SD1 would have been his number one.
I was absolutely convinced it'd be this.
I can't really get it now because he's mentioned his TS, he's mentioned his SD1,
And it's not the Zara.
and it's neither there, and he's just now said it's not.
Alright, I'll tell you what.
Um,
Is it a British car?
No.
I know what it is, but I'm not going to tell the viewers.
No, I'll let Malcolm explain it, but I think I might have a guess that
It's
he's
really-
mentioned it in the past. It's not a Citroen.
I'm
is
not an
it?
idiot if I'm wrong, but
Don't I guess?
I'm going to guess Citroen C5.
No.
No, you see, he's thrown his right curveball. He's done a rope-a-dope. He's shown
You sure has, hasn't he? You know, Max, you mentioned the C5 earlier, and I thought, here we go.
This is what he's done it on purpose. So go on, you will now have to tell us, Malcolm.
C5 is nice because it was actually slightly bigger than the SD1 and incredibly comfortable, really good brake.
I'm going to say, quick mention about your C5.
Yeah.
Wasn't your C5 one of the first in the UK?
Yes.
Because it was owned, if I remember rightly, by Citroen UK,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah. And it was on a wire edge 2001, which they were very first launched over
Yeah.
there, wasn't it? Yeah.
And it had the factory fitted sat nav,
Which was an option.
full colour.
Just before you mention your car, I worked with someone briefly who had one of them VXs, you know, that went
Yeah.
up and...
You can do that with mine.
Yeah, well, the thing is, my dad used to drop me off at his house before we went to where he worked, and every day he got in his car, started it up, let it rise up, backed off track, all as normal. This one occasion he was running late, he seemed a bit tired, we got in his car, he started it up and just went straight down, drive as fast as out before it had drilled. And he took his tail bar off underneath his bumper and all we had these massive crumbs. And it's funny, but his wife had a 205 GTI, black one, and he says, right man, we're off to work in the GTI. Well, we went in his wife's car.
Before I had that, I had the Zara, no, Xantia.
Xantia, I remember the Xantia.
It had a mechanical lever that you pulled and moved for the suspension.
Yeah.
And the C5 was great because you had buttons that you just pushed and saw it all on display.
Yeah.
But that is not my car.
So that's not the top one, so...
the
drum roll.
Audi Coupe GT.
An Audi?
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I wasn't, no, that stopped my drum roll as well. I wasn't expecting-
5-cylinder counted engine.
Yeah.
I believe it's 2 litre. I can't remember the engine size.
It's over 2.3 with it.
Yeah, it might
Yeah.
have been.
2.2, so.
And it flew. I mean, it was the only car I've ever had where you sit on the motorway at 70 mile an hour in 5th gear, somebody comes up behind you flashing the lights, and you just put your foot down and you back in the
Now you
seat.
see, this will be the same, going back to my top car, the RS.
Yeah.
When I used to come out of work, and I'd be going on a certain road, I'd be going on a certain road, and I got it into 6th gear. And I could be doing 30 in 6. And then I could just think, right, I will overtake this or whatever, just settle, and I used to just bang my foot down, I didn't have to change down, and you just went into back to the seat and you were up.
The thing is as well, I remember sitting in one ages, before I got my first car, and I was sat in the back, and you look at the coupe look, and you think it's going to be cramped in the back now. It's like cavernous. And you're sat in the back, and you're looking at the front, and it's like the dash is miles away from you.
Yeah.
And the boot, even though it was a notched boot, it was really, really accessible. The one thing I will say about it though is you've got this like foam wing on the back.
Yes, I remember one.
Yeah.
I remember one.
And it's quite heavy, but the doors were big, so it was accessible, you know, for everybody, even though it was only a 2-door. And the look. I mean, you remember the Quattro when it came out?
Yes, this is the thing. Yeah, I love the look of that. Yeah.
And you know, you've got that look, obviously without the flared arches. But it was amazing. It was an absolutely amazing car, and I'd have another one of them, except for one tiny, tiny little issue. I had a quick look on Auto Trader. There was one. £9,920. And it's like, yeah, I'd have another one. Again, I'd have another one tomorrow.
If you had 10 grand.
If I had 10 grand. Yeah, lottery. But absolutely loved the car. It handles ridiculously well.
What year was that? What car that, Mark?
That was an X-Reg.
19...
My 2000, didn't it? X-Reg.
No, you're about the old X-Reg.
The old X-Reg.
1981, something like that. Yeah.
So the gauges on the bottom telling you your oil pressure,
Them are the things I like to see about the RS. You had the extra gauges and things like that.
It would shift. It was
Quick
a strange
drop.
thing, yeah. It was ridiculously quick.
Do you know what I think that's a bit funny here is that your top car is a Focus RS. Your top car is an Audi Quattro, is it?
No, it wasn't the Quattro.
Oh,
it was a GT coupe.
GT.
Yeah.
And mine was a Vauxhall Corsa.